Welcome to another episode of the SimNation podcast. My name is Pablo. My voice is kind of scratchy. And we are here with Fallon.
Oh, yeah, hi.
See.
I was doing
down below here you have Jan in a weird position for some reason. And this other guy right here that you not always see here in the podcast is a special guest, and his name is Brian, most commonly known by Pinstar. Welcome to the show.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
The stream.
Yes, welcome. And
The good ones
excuse
are
Pablo
this
for his
side.
incapability to
that
phrase an intro properly.
Yeah. Oh man, it's killing me. I can't talk really. But so I came back on vacations and it was really cold, so I got like all the stuff going on, and I'm recovering
poor
now.
baby.
But I'll
Drink some hot tea.
picture
With
people
no rocks
picture like
in it.
vacation, like, oh yeah, you're just there laying in the beach and taking sun. Like, no, I was surviving nature in that vacation. Like, it was so cold and I wasn't prepared for it. I went for a summer vacation. I didn't take like all my winter clothes there, so I was like going from cafe to stay alive. But anyways, I still have fun. So
Look, Pablo, you need to learn from the rest of us who have been streaming a lot. Hot tea and honey. Hot tea and honey.
Streaming a lot. This guy over here who streamed for like 1 week out of his life says he's streaming
Hey,
a lot.
I streamed 5 hours for 7 days straight. A day. 5
you
hours
stream
a
a
day.
lot
So shut up.
for a week. So we wanted to get started. As always, you can find the content timestamp in. Oops. Well, yeah, I can't show that stuff anymore. Broken layout. Anyways, you can find the content timestamp in the comment section below if you're watching this on YouTube on Tuesday. We want to get started actually on The Sims before we jump over City Skylines, because Get to Work Dammit is coming out today, Monday, and actually, yeah, we just wanted to talk about it, but actually Pinstar got his hands on it, so he can actually share his experiences on it, I guess. Right?
Yeah, that's correct. I got a somewhat early access copy that gave me access to the game a couple of days before the official retail release. I have been on the NDA on my experiences with that just got lifted this morning, so I can speak freely about it. So.
Cool.
Yay!
I've been going mostly through the retail aspect of it, because that's been my favorite part of it back in Sims 2 Open for Business.
Yes.
That was my favorite expansion pack. So I wanted to sink my teeth into that aspect and see how it measured up. So I can absolutely, but I played around with some of the other things, a little of the medical, a little of the police. Haven't dove into the scientific aspect yet, but like I said, I've been splashing around there, and any questions or whatnot, I can sort of speak to my experiences with that.
Oh, yeah. So if anyone has any question, make sure you leave a comment in the
Did you
Twitch.
make aliens?
Actually, good question. I didn't make an alien, but the sim I was using to test it, I just randomly decided, I heard there was maybe like a new pregnancy waddle animation. Let me try that out. So I had her marry just a random NPC bartender downtown. Well, he looked normal, and he was completely normal until she woohooed him for the first time, and then it said, she discovered he's an alien because of his equipment.
Oh, that's
That
how
is
she.
so
oh, damn.
random. You picked that one alien.
Yeah, it was just, and like I said, he wasn't doing any weird animations that would kind of give him away. He was just acting like an NPC bartender, and I'm like, all right, we'll just grab this guy, and he's an alien.
Really?
Did your baby come out a different color?
The babies actually came out looking human. I wasn't sure if that was like a genetic thing where it just happened to roll up where the human genetics held on, or if like they were born human disguised. But once I moved the alien into the house, he had a couple of alien specific interactions. Like you could do like an empathize, where he like would stare at someone and do like a little mind power like, and like that would be like a positive interaction, but the other person would be like, oh, what are you doing in my head? And there was an option to
probe people.
I didn't go too extensive on the probing, but you can have them remove their human disguise.
Can you do that at their house? Because I thought that they could only be aliens in the other world, not at their own homes.
No, I had an option to remove the human disguise while they were in their house. So they wanted to let it hang out, so to speak. They could if they wanted to.
Cool. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
I
because
was
they
like,
weren't
that's
very
so...
specific about that before.
Yeah.
Because how it was phrased in the last kind of snippet we got was that they can only be alien looking on the alien planet. It was weird.
That would
Bloody
be so
EA.
lame. Who would even... Yeah. But, oh, wait, Jolene... Go ahead.
Joel actually wanted to ask a question here in the Twitch chat. That is, can you make a shop on plots in the normal worlds, or do you have to make shops in the shopping district?
You can make a shop in the normal world, but there's a little trick to that. Like what I did was, any plot in the normal worlds can be made into a retail plot, including any of the empty ones, or you can bulldoze an existing one and turn that into a retail. So you can basically make it wherever you want. But one thing I was testing was I made a shop right next to their house, like in the same little mini neighborhood, thinking that, since you can't do a home-based business, might as well start a shop where they can just walk to it. But what it does is it does something unique to the lot type, to where if you want to get to that lot, you have to go through a real quick loading screen to transition to it, even if you're, just walking to it. So I think that little loading screen does something to sort of recalibrate the game's functioning to tell it, like, this is a retail lot, which is probably why they don't allow you to do a home-based business, because that would screw up how a Sims home would actually start working.
Right. So it seems like quickly change the settings to, this is a retail, this is the center of the game right now, and it has to quickly change all that because you can't have, like on the Sims 3, like little clusters that behave differently. Right.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
The loading screens are nice and quick. I didn't see any extending of the loading screen time. So
how many seconds
if it was
you would say it was going from home to the next one?
From home to back, 20 seconds, 15 seconds maybe.
20 seconds loading screen?
Roundabout or so. It depends on.
That's quite a lot.
My computer's a little bit bogged down when I was running a couple other I was capturing video at the same time, so it probably extended that. So don't take that as that.
So
but
it might be the normal length that you get when you go to any other.
It's like regular, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going to another lot. If you're in Oasis Springs and you're going to Sunset Valley. I think that's the name. And you just visiting a lot there, they would be the same length of loading screen. So nothing lost in that sense. And it's tolerable. And the other nice thing is that you can, unlike the Sims 2 community lots, you can actually buy and build any of the objects there. So you could buy like a bed and a fridge and ovens and everything. So you could basically essentially have a Sim or Sims live at the business and then just open it and close it without ever leaving the lot. And so if you really just want to focus on that business and just do that and not have to keep going back and forth to home, you can do that.
Right. Because so you can actually use the fridge to its full extent and everything. Like there's no limitations.
No limitations. You could
actually
meals.
In parks and all. I think there's no limitations either, right? You could put a fridge in a park, I think.
Yeah, but I'm just contrasting that to The Sims 2, where you couldn't build beds on community lots.
Yeah, you pretty much had a limited time to actually be in your biz, if you may.
Exactly.
The only thing you technically need to go home for is to pay your home bills. And the one thing they said was, businesses don't actually have bills. So it's not like if you're not playing that business lot that day, then you're not going to have to, you're not ever going to have to pay, business maintenance bills or whatever. So I guess that makes sense as to why it wouldn't be a part of your house lot kind of thing. Yeah, because then it would mess up your house bills and your...
Yeah, and then, you don't want to cut out that aspect of it. And again, you don't want, customers showing up at your house, or whatnot. So it's logical that they don't allow the home business. I mean, I like that, but the loading screens are negligible enough to it's not a negative aspect to it.
Well, I'm glad to hear. So
Any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I have my question, but I asked him before we actually started, but I want to say it anyway because I wanted to play the charge per hour mode, like I always did in The Sims 2 Open for Business. Pinstar confirmed that is 9 again. Although you said something about it.
We mentioned it on last week's podcast. One of the gurus said that it is something they want to add in later. Possibly add in later. It wasn't confirmed, but it's something that they would like to see in the game. It was just kind of a passing comment.
But that would be like adding a feature to an expansion pack after release, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they've done that a couple of times. I mean, with like the large, the pools update and the basements update.
Oh yeah, but that's for everyone.
Well, yeah, that's for everyone. But I mean, for in this case, I could see them adding that after the fact for open for business people. Just because, I mean, if it's a feature that maybe they were planning it along, maybe it's like 70% complete right now, but it's just not ready for showtime, and they don't want to put in this buggy business mode that just doesn't work properly. So what they might do is just say, all right, we're withholding this, not to like gouge people or do anything like that, but just say, you know what, we still need to polish this, so we're going to hold it back, and maybe we'll toss it in on a free update for people who own the pack.
Maybe.
I mean, they've been sort of doing this the entire release schedule, right? Adding features into the game after releasing free patches. Like we got the pools, we got the ghosts, we got the basements now in the free patch. So it wouldn't be something. By now, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary that they went, oh yeah, we wanted to add this in, we couldn't get it in at the beginning, we'll add it in now.
Now, it is becoming like a strangely common practice. I mean, like back in the day, a game would be finished, launched, and that's it. And I agreed, like, I love that a game keeps getting more support past launch because it extends the life of it. Like, you can still come back and there's always something new for it. Sometimes you have to pay for it, sometimes it's free. So that is actually quite cool. I prefer this model than the old one that the game is launched, that's it, you can never change it. But on the other side, it's allowing developers to get away with not finishing the game and still sell it not as an early access but as a complete full game just because they didn't have time. So I mean, for me it's a double-edged sword there, but
Oh yeah, well, internet's a little.
It kind of stems from what happened in the original development of the base game itself, where for 2 years they were being forced down a route similar to the SimCity release, and then SimCity melted down, and they realized that they would be killing the Sims franchise if they forced the same thing to happen. So they gave the development team free rein, but they didn't extend out their development time by 2 more years. So they had to quickly retool everything, so that's why a few things were not ready for showtime. Because they they had to do a sort of a mid-cycle retool. So in this particular case, they were working on this expansion pack like even before the base game was released. Obviously, it wasn't nearly as far along. But I got that when I was at Creators Camp. I got the essence that they were working on. They couldn't tell us anything about it, but they were still working.
When did you go there exactly?
That was a couple of weeks before the release of the original Sims 4. I don't have the dates off the top of my head,
but just a few weeks before.
It was like in the summer sometime.
So it was almost finished.
I heard.
We got our hands on a pretty much fully playable things. I mean, there were a few more bugs than were there and before, but it was still just a press release copy, so sort of a pre-retail.
And
I had heard that they were working on Get to Work for a while, because a lot of people I sometimes hate looking at the Sims 4 forums because a lot of people just complain about stuff, but
I haven't visited those in ages.
Yeah, a lot of people were complaining when they found out that the Get to Work was only going to be one neighborhood and 4 lots, and and people were saying like, well, they were probably working this for a while, and they didn't realize that people were really avid about having a lot of lots. But then you got to think about it, like Sims 3 was open world, but you couldn't transition your Sims from one like world to the next, so you had to have all those lots because your Sims were stuck in Bridgeport, or they were stuck in Island Paradise. Like they couldn't just move the way that they can move now in Sims 4. So I guess
this is pretty much like the Sims. Like many people are upset now because the Sims 3 was like open and all, but this is classic The Sims. This is how The Sims have always worked. Sims 1 and Sims 2. So like this is actually going back to roots. I don't know if it means going back to the old times. Doesn't mean we have to play 8-bit just because. But this is actually how The Sims is. The Sims 3 actually is a strange animal if you compare like all 4 versions. So I don't know.
I mean, heck, The Sims 3 didn't even have a proper open for business thing in all of it. I mean, yeah, it had the consignment store, but that doesn't count.
No, that wasn't really.
That doesn't count.
No, it's not. It doesn't count at all. And, it was cool. Like Sims 3 gave us ambitions and they go to work with your Sims, but it was so different, and a lot of people.
Packs they need to do for an open world experience.
Yeah, the fact that so many people are basing The Sims now on the open world, and like, oh, you're going backwards. Like, why give us an open world and then take it away? It's like, but that was only one of the Sims games. You can't just say everything has to be the. Yeah, I'd rather have all my worlds connected and not have to keep remaking my. That's why I never made any I never had kids, because I was always having to remake my Sims families every time a new world came out. It was I ended up with thousands of couples with no children. That was it.
By the way, Joel here asked, can you stop people from getting into your personal space if you're trying to sort of live in a store?
I tested that a little bit. I didn't see any specific lock mechanisms, but the customers are a lot less intrusive.
Right.
So they'll
go use your toilet.
Yeah. Well, no, they'll use the bathroom if they have to use the bathroom. But they'll use the closest one. So if you put a little public bathroom,
right.
They'll go use that one. They're not going to go, up 3 floors to use your personal toilet if they have to. I had a where, they had a bed and a kitchen and whatnot. You didn't have customers going in, laying on the bed, pulling snacks out of the fridge.
Right.
They weren't doing, literally none of the customers went into the personal area just because I had a little public bathroom out there. And that's pretty much the only non-shopping thing they did. They chat with, your employees and each other. They do their shopping. They'd use the bathroom if they had to, but otherwise they're not there to try and, mess around or whatnot. So you're not, it really wasn't that intrusive.
They clearly weren't making it for it. That was not the intended use of
just
the
make
store.
sure one of the things you sell is a snack item, so if they get hungry they can go buy it instead of trying to play.
Right.
The store I tested it with was with art, sim created art. So I don't know
nice.
if they eat it right there on the premises or if they just take it home with them. Interesting thing to note, and this is a change from Open for Business. In Open for Business, you could still sell sim created items, but once that item was sold, you had to physically create a new one to restock it, quote unquote. Right. Here, I had a sim just paint a sad painting. And, it was I was using my Wonder Child family, so it was worth $3,000. So someone bought that for a marked up price. And you had the, out of stock sale. I could just restock it. I could go there, do the restock animation on it, and boom, the exact same painting would appear. And I even did that with the whole,
I don't think that's okay.
Reference. Well, they're making copies of art, and I mean it doesn't get restocked unless you restock it. And actually, another handy thing is when you click on the sold out sign, you can either tell them to restock it or just take the sign down. So if you want to do sort of a unique item that's being sold, you sell the item, it has the sold out sign, you just take the sign down. It's like, all right, it's sold, and then you can put something else up somewhere else.
Do they have? How's the sale process? Do they have like the sale progress bar in the heads like on
Yes.
too?
Yep.
You have to talk to them maybe.
Yep, you do have to talk to them. I did a lot of testing with this. There's the sales social, like there's a whole new, you have like friendly, funny, romantic. There's a whole new category called retail. And when you're interacting with your customers, you can use the retail things. Now, it starts out with just 3 options like answer questions, ask about price range, ask about shopping preferences. And it actually creates a whole new conversation category. Like, with romantic, you'd have like sort of a flirtatious exchange, and then when it got more heated, it would be a sultry exchange. Well, here you have a similar progression with customers where it's like just window shopping and receptive to sales pitch, and then interested in buying. And as that progresses, you can start using more and more sales socials about offering plugging products, enthusing about the stores, talking about just general sales stuff. You have a lot more choices in interactions, and I've noticed that it's a lot. It's a lot less punishing if you fail a sales social. Like, heaven forbid in Open for Business, you try a hard sell on somebody and they reject it. That's like, minus 30 personal relationship points, minus 2 customer loyalty stars. Yeah, I'm out of here. I mean, they're rejecting it.
Is there a similar system of skilling it up?
Well,
as you go?
Yes and
I think
yes
that's
and
the
no.
business perks, right?
Well, it's kind of split. Business perks have replaced sort of the badges you'd earn for your family members. So if you want your family members to be able to, say, check people out faster or restock faster or do that other stuff, you buy the perks. But for employees, they kind of use the badge system where you look at an employee, it's like, oh, here's Don Lothario. He's got a 1 rating in sales and a 2 rating in restocking, and that determines how fast he goes. And as he does more and more of a specific task, he'll over time build up skills in that, so he'll become a better and better employee. But that doesn't seem to be the case for your family members. Those are only improved by purchasing the business perks. That being said, everything you do related to the business earns you perk points. Sales socials, making a sale, actually, checking them out on time, restocking an item, doing, interactions with your employees. Like, pretty much everything you do with the business gives you a little trickle of business points.
And what can you use that for? To buy?
Oh, hold on. Jolie has a question. She wants to know, did you ever try to buy the business and have a regular job at the same time?
I did not try that.
But you should be able to do both. I mean,
yeah, because
not going to be in the lot.
Yeah, you can open and close the business, and it's not like it's restrictive about how if your business is closed for too long. So if you want to have a sim that has a business on the side and goes to work for 4 days a week, and then on the 3 days a week they're not working, they could come to the business or maybe come after work or whatnot. So I could see you could potentially juggle that if you wanted to. I don't see anything scripted into the game that prevents that.
And the business is, your sim has to physically be there for the business to be open, right? It isn't like Open for Business where you could set it up so that the business would still kind of run.
Yeah, no, you have to have somebody there. No, I've tested it where like the person who founded the business, it's basically the whole family becomes sort of business owners, even if they don't do it. So someone who started the business, they personally don't have to be there. You could send somebody else from the family to be there, and they'd be sort of the de facto manager. And just traveling there, you can travel with more than one family member, so you could have the whole house show up there and do business stuff, or you could just have one sim do that and everybody else does their and just treats it like off-lot things where you could tell them like work on skills, fulfill your needs, that sort of thing. If they have to go to work off-lot, they'll just do it on their own.
I see. Yeah. Oh well. That was actually the part I was most interested in the expansion pack. I mean, not necessarily the ambitions part, but so I'm glad we got that covered.
Pablo, you could try to sell there's no mate, but you could make juice and milk and try to sell that. Pretend like it's
mate.
A mate store.
Somebody needs to mod the mate. There is not much modding going on in The Sims, I guess, because they want to sell you the stuff, but...
Well, I do remember the Sim Gurus stating somewhere on Twitter that the way they built the retail thing is that basically all future expansion packs and all future stuff packs that they do, all of the items that get introduced with that will all be retroactively added into the retail system. So if, like, say for example, there's a I don't know.
Basically, all that it checks really is for the price. I mean,
if they had a pets expansion, do you think that you'd be able to sell pets?
No, that's conceivable because, like I said, they said
maybe they could. I mean, maybe they could have like if you have 2 expansion packs, you have this item that allows you to put pets in and then sell them. I mean, in The Sims 1, the way you bought pets was basically going downtown and then to that new area in your town and in Unleashed, and you would see the pets, right? And then you interact with the object and say, which one do you want? And you get like all these low poly
pretty much,
and you pick one. The Sims 1. Love that game.
The good old days.
Simpler times. A game that was really hard, by the way. You were trying to get the guy to eat a little bit, and just because you had a crappy fridge, it will only fill up like 20% of his hunger. Meanwhile, fun was dropping, social was like dead, and like, oh my god, the pressure, the tension playing that game, amazing. But yeah, also there was a patch notes for the update on The Sims 4, but it's quite lengthy. Do we want to just say like 2 or 3 main things and just wrap it up for The Sims?
Yeah, we can.
What are the key things? Yeah.
The biggest thing was the basements and the floor. So the Thursday patch, which was weird because we were thinking it would be on a Tuesday. Like, when do they ever have patches on Thursdays? But you get 2 basement floors underground and then 1 additional floor above. So now you can have 6 total floors in your Sims house. And like I was saying before we started streaming, so if you make a basement floor, like I only did 1 level because I did 2 levels just to play around with it to show people, but you can take the ceiling off of the basement so it looks like it's a sunken in little pit or room or whatever.
Oh,
and you can build pools in the basement or have them next to the basement so that you can see through. If you put like the glass windows,
you can see
I was
through.
thinking like, why would you need a pool in the basement? But whatever. But the ceiling removal tool is like so unintuitive, and they don't tell you how to remove it in the sim lessons in the game. You basically and it's kind of weird to actually make the basement. You have to go, there's a basement tool. It looks like a bricked wall with stairs going down, and you build a room, and then you go, you hit the page down or whatever, go down the floor and add the stairs. And then you have to select the room, like if you were to move it, go back up to the ground floor, click the little yellow square around the room, and then click the X to get rid of the ceiling.
That's a whole procedure. It's like playing Operation. What was it?
Yeah. Operation where you don't want to buzz and I'm like, that is so. I should just be able to like use the floor
it feels like the
tile
people
or
from
something and
Skylines
just
went and made that user
that
interface.
part of the. I had to look I had to Google search how to remove the ceiling.
Oh God! Someone needs to write a guide on that for us now, and I'm not doing it because I'm good.
The guide on, there's probably already guides out. But so the basements was the biggest thing. And the second biggest thing was the ability to move move your whole lot. Like, so if I have my house, I can move parts of my house off the lot if I wish. And anything that doesn't stay on the boundary of the lot will just get deleted. Like, it might chop your house in half if you want, but you now have the ability to, like, say this is my lot. I can now move my house like all around and kind of figure out where it's going.
Right.
And if you download a house that's too big for your lot, it'll have like a floor plan. It'll show you like what areas are going to be in the lot, and then everything that doesn't fit gets cut off.
But you can adjust like where you want.
Yeah, you can move it around.
Right.
So in
That
the
was good.
stream on Thursday, I was just moving it around, and you can undo it too. It just takes like a little extra time to
I remember
load
like on the Sims 3, it was impossible to put a log. Like always, there would be like a problem with the
I know,
height.
and you have to like turn it, and you're like, God, this doesn't even. Am I even
be like-
turning it the right way?
And then you had like the sidewalk, and the first tile that was actually part of the building would be like one whole story tall, and they could never reach it. They had to go all the way around.
Yeah. Or like people who would make fancy lots with like the driveways for cars, and they wouldn't line up. So you're actually like, the house is like backwards from how it's supposed to be, so that it kind of looks like it fits with the road. I'm like, this is stupid. But so it's so now, I mean, I don't see the point of getting a house that's too big, because you're just going to chop off the excess. But I mean, whatever. If you feel like doing that, you can.
Yeah.
And I think they said, was it like a part of this one where? No, I don't remember what I was going to say. But anyways, and then the painting from reference. So now, like, you can paint.
Yeah.
You can take your Sims, take a little picture around. The easel has to be like near whatever they want to paint. So you have to move the easel. If you want to do like the outside of your house, you have to move the easel, because they get this little window of an area where your Sim like pans around. So if you want to take a portrait, you have to have another Sim come into that space, and then like move your Sim's camera over
Right.
and take a picture.
Yeah, it's similar like on The Sims 2. I remember you could do that.
Well,
Yeah.
Sims 2 allowed you to I mean, if you wanted to do just strictly a portrait, it would force that into a limited perspective. But if you wanted to do just a life, a still life, you could basically move the camera anywhere in the lot, get any angle you wanted, and your Sim would magically know what you're looking at and paint that.
Oh yeah, let me paint myself from the top.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's nice. But the only weird thing is, like Jolene commented, even if you paint a painting from reference, it looks like you're doing one of those like impressionist, like stippled paintings where it's all made up dots.
Yeah,
it's very
They
low
made it
quality.
like a very, very intense filter, maybe.
Yeah. And I was testing that with my
Strokes would be
master
nicer.
painter.
Yeah.
Where skill 10 painter with the painter's perk, and she still was making sort of stylized paintings from reference. I mean, you could recognize what was in the painting. It wasn't so out there that it's like what am I looking at? But it wasn't
It's called randomnism. It's kind of like a new thing.
It's kind of like going towards, like the Minecraft, like blocky.
There you go.
I looked at it. It's kind of 8-bit impressionist finger painting. That's what it felt like when I saw the first screenshots of it.
It'd be nice if it actually got better. The more painting skill you had, instead of always just being that same quality. But at least you can do it now in the game. There are also some things that they added in the update, like apparently you have a notebook now in your phone menu, and when your Sim gets better at gardening and fishing, like they'll get things like splicing recipes or the bait to use to catch certain fish, and it'll appear in their notebook. I think that was kind of like the journal in Sims 3, like with all of your information about the different it's not retroactive though, so if you discovered something before, it won't appear in your notebook. I think you have to make a new discovery. The one thing that I do like though is, so now when your Sims are at work or school and they do the interactions to like talk to coworkers, they'll actually meet them and build the relationships with them, so they're not just fake people anymore. They'll actually be a friend that they can talk to outside of the La La Land that was like work or school.
And would give that interaction a little bit more viability in terms of when you would actually reasonably want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, because
but in this case, it makes sense, right? Because you can go to work with them in the new expansion. So it kind of makes sense that there are actual people there, because you can actually physically interact with them while you're at work.
Yeah.
Well, I had a teenage sim that went to school, and her social was really low, so I flipped her over to the make friends, and she was making friends with other teenagers in the school. Just other teenagers.
Yeah. And before it was just to fill their mood, their meter up. It wasn't actually. So now they're real.
Part of the patch, right?
Yeah, this is part of the patch.
Oh, that is good.
On Thursday,
that was something that was kind of creepy. Like, who are you talking to? Like,
it just seems weird that like there wasn't actually a real NPC being generated from these conversations. It was just to fill up your meter. And also, so related to that is now NPCs or townies will have jobs, and you can ask them what their career is when you talk to them, and it'll even tell you like they go to work from Monday to Friday or whatever, 9 to 5.
Now I'd like to know if they have progression.
I don't know if they'll have progression, but at least they'll have jobs.
At least they'll exist.
Yeah.
They exist and they have jobs, and you can become friends with them. They're not.
Invite me to your home. No.
Not real? Duh.
I am real, not my house, all right?
Yeah, and then
we all live in one big house. 200
this house you speak of?
House.
Don't you live under the bridge?
Yeah.
I thought we lived in Pablo's basement. No, was that something else? Were we not supposed to say that?
Ooh, shut up!
Like there's there's bars on that window. Like I can't get out of there.
And I'm physically just on the other side of her monitor.
And
we can actually see
right
each other.
over there.
I actually make it look like they're two different like part of the world, but they're actually in the same room. Shut up and work.
Another thing that they patched in was now you can still gain rewards and promotions even after you're at the top level of your career. I don't know what they will be because I'm not at the top level of any career.
Bonuses.
But
I haven't tested that one out yet.
Yeah, you can still apparently like when you hit level 10, you'll still get like reasons to continue instead of switching jobs. And then of course, good. They changed the interface to get ready for the expansion. So they have like the bubbles, like the circles of the worlds in the middle of the screen now.
Right,
and
because now you will need them more now.
Yeah.
Before they basically put another neighborhood so you could see there was another one. And there was support for it. But now, I mean, it's starting to, you're going to be using them more. I'm gonna try to update it. I kind of like the fact that it runs really well on the Mac, which is kind of strange. Usually games run so poorly on the Mac, and I can actually play this before. So.
Pablo, if you play within the month of now and April, you can find the 10 Easter eggs and then get a giant an Easter stuffed bunny.
Yes.
For I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be like one of those kids' toys.
Is it as creepy as the gnome?
The gnome is creepy. I don't want a naked tile mosaic gnome.
I like the social bunny from The Sims 2.
They have
the social bunny from The Sims 2.
Yeah, it was.
They have a bunny gnome. They have a gnome in a bunny costume also that you can get, Mr. Floppy.
Yeah, by the way,
which is a really bad name.
Those are like funny stuff that I like on The Sims 2. Like the llama guy from The Sims 2 University. that would just prank everybody. Like you would hate that guy, but it also was quite cool. And you had like these characters roaming around the city. It was quite nice.
But you also had the cow mascot, the rival mascot, and if the two of them were on the same lot, they would just get into fistfights with each other.
Like that little folklore going on with the characters. That was really nice, indeed. Good old times. But yeah. Anyways, well, I mean, before we just take everything on The Sims 4, I wanted to just talk a little bit Skylines. I've been missing it since I couldn't be playing it. So. And
yes, I started playing it earlier today.
I played today. Actually, I wanted to see if I could import the map height from my city. Bad idea. But well, especially because I used the right click to rotate the camera, and right click is hard coded as like lowering the level of whatever brush you're using on the height. So and rotating also, right click is used to rotate objects. So I cannot use the map editor at all. So yeah, maybe one day they'll fix it. They really
or maybe one day you'll just get a normal mouse.
No, why add more buttons to this beautiful piece of like?
You're the only one that uses
it's amazing.
that.
It's lovely. However,
no, there are many people using Macs or notebooks.
Is that a mouse or a bar of soap?
It's a beautiful bar of soap. That happens to be a mouse.
The Apple soap.
The eye soap.
No one actually have a computer. We just tell him that it's a computer and gave him a bar of soap.
No, I'm pretty much against
normal mouse. My mouse has a back and forward button on the side.
Yeah,
I can go.
I do that with a multi-touch gesture.
I have a mouse wheel.
You need to add more buttons to do everything. I just go like.
I can play games that have the click mouse wheel that do stuff, like tilt the camera.
Yeah, but you need like the Naga mouse so you can do everything.
No, that's too much buttons.
See?
I'll like
That's
blow
too
up
many
my
buttons.
character. I'd be like,
I
what am I
like to. I
pressing?
like having to move my fingers around. I like to keep them steady. I think 3 buttons is too much. And actually, this is the only game that really requires me. I play shooters, I played RTS, and this is the only game that the UI is so poor, you cannot do it with less than 3 mouse buttons. You could do it with 1, actually, but they're forcing you to use 3. I wish they would just copy. I mean, they copy so many things off SimCity. They could have copied the camera. But oh well. Anyways.
It doesn't bother me. I have a real mouse.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Everybody that doesn't have a Mac or a notebook is fine. Anyway,
I've actually played it on my laptop with the touchpad, and it works semi-okay.
How do you do with the middle mouse?
Because you don't really need the middle mouse.
To rotate? But would you use the keyboard buttons to move the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much. I mean, I like to use the WASD, but then I like to use the rest for commands, not for left, right, up, and down. That's like too much.
Oh, because it was, I didn't have a mouse with me, and it was just, you just hard code Q and E into rotation, and you're fine.
Yeah, but I don't like to do all that.
Pablo doesn't like to do
Too much
anything.
work for Pablo.
No, look, I am a user interface designer, and I cannot accept this kind of stuff. For me, it's just retarded. It's like if you, for a touch device, you had to use a special pen to access some stuff. Like, come on, give me a break. I should be able to do everything with one finger. That's all you need, really. Why add more? You could just do it with one. But anyway.
Stop crying because you don't want to use any other kind of normal mouse.
This is a normal mouse to me. Anyway. So City Skylines had a patch that was brought back.
It had a patch that wasn't meant to be. For now, it will be a patch hopefully soon. It was just a lot of bug fixes, basically.
Yeah.
That was it. They added the Japanese garden for everyone, which was the biggest one because they messed something up and everyone got it anyways. So
by the way, I don't have it anymore.
Not everyone. The people who signed up for the newsletter and claimed it early and added it to their account when they accidentally released it for everybody, it wiped it out for the people who had actually gotten it early. They didn't mean to do that, but I'm using a modded version of it to access sit in my game right now.
So hold on, I don't have it anymore. It disappeared off my library and my city. What do I do now? Do I wait for the patch?
Go to the mod workshop and put in Zen Garden and download one of those. There's at least 7 of them, which are just the same asset re-uploaded.
Right.
And if
Same
you had
same prices.
this is a bit
I did
of a
like
cheat,
that the
right?
Zen Garden was like it showed the right icon, it had the thumbnail. I mean, it was complete.
Yeah, and it's gonna be put back in when the patch comes out,
Right. So that's my question. This patch will bring it back.
Yeah,
This patch
so they're not trying to.
But then it took it away because the patch was rolled back, right? But this patch will give it to everyone, just as they said it would. It just the fact that it got rolled back at the moment. But if you want to use it till then, go to the workshop. It's the same if you didn't buy the deluxe version. Go to the workshop. Everything's up there. I checked.
Yeah. I happen to like the Japanese garden just from a gameplay perspective because it's 4x4, has really strong effects on that, and you can utilize it sort of in amongst your zones, which 4x4 is the largest a single zone is going to develop anyway.
Yeah.
So you can just sort of tuck it in there quite neatly without stepping on needing a bigger
looks
footprint.
very neat. If you put it kind of in between, if you have office area zoned and you put it in between 2 office buildings, it looks kind of neat, kind of a sanctuary place. I don't know. I've been using it a bit. I've been adding it in a bunch of places. I just like the way it looks.
They actually let you upload the stuff that came in the deluxe?
Well, everything is an asset that can be exported and imported.
Oh, well, that kind of takes away from the point of...
It's so moddable. They don't have control on the content. It's nobody's land. That's the benefit.
The game actually turned out to be way more moddable than they intended it to be.
Yeah, I mean... But I mean, it's reaching a point that...
It wasn't intended that people could go into C##, or I think they use C#, and, actually... C#, and actually put... go directly into the main game code, right? It wasn't deemed to be that way. They were like, "Oh, you have assets, you have intersections, the spotting tools." But then, because people are smart, and the game got so big and so popular, a lot of developers figured out, "Oh yeah, look, I can go into the core game files and just edit shit."
Oh, Brian, you're too.
That's why we got so many mods, right?
Yeah.
Jan went like in a crazy moment, and his camera reacted and went all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, also like something that is going on right now in the City Skylines is like many people will tell you, "Well, this is not working," or "This is not okay," and somebody will come in and say, "But no, yeah, it is working. You have to download this mod," and then somebody says, "But I have this mod. No, you have to download this one. You have to unsubscribe this one, get this one instead." And then there's like this very split community right now, actually, of people playing with different mods that have different experiences on the game, and some feel like the game is broken because they're using some mods that they forgot they had, or they didn't install some that fix stuff that needs fixing, right? So it's a little bit also out of control. It's great that I feel like really what they made is not a game at all, but what they made is a platform for people to build, to have exactly the kind of gameplay that they want, but that also is a little bit more hardcore because you really need to know what you're doing and go through all the mods to do that. That's why we're starting to do that.
I personally think that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good approach, but not the other one, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally don't really use that many mods. Like the only mod I use in my Let's Play series is the hard mode that they like encoded into the game itself, like the mod that came with the game itself that just makes things more expensive and harder to level up. And it's
have a better mod pack for that.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing all these others, and I'm not like anti-mod. I definitely am enthusiastic about it. But there's just so many options. I mean, there's one that I was about to grab where it shows you the nitty-gritty details of how close a building is to leveling up and what specific aspect is preventing it. Be it land value or customers or services. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And it's like, yes, it's part of this other gigantic mod pack that does this 15,000 other things. I'm like, I don't know about those 15,000 other things. Can I get just the thing that shows us under the hood what the buildings want? The little,
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for that to be like more modular.
More modular, right? So you can get the right thing. The best thing would be
of good mods, right?
Yeah, I mean the best would be that they're all like split, and then you just pick the ones that you want, and if you want, you can just make a collection, and that's it.
Yeah.
What Jan was referring before, and actually I'm gonna.
Jolene thinks your mod is too hard, Jan.
By the way, this is the mod that you guys need to try. And this is actually a collection. It's 2 mods only, and I call it Reality Check. And it's basically a collection. You subscribe, and it comes with 2 mods. One makes pedestrians and cars move at realistic speed. You know how you see like pedestrians walking like really fast everywhere? This will take like almost twice as long for them to get anywhere.
What if they're training for the Olympics power walking?
Well, like even dogs are trained because even grannies are like, yeah, because they go really fast.
All 200,000 of your citizens are going to get into the next Olympics power walking competition.
Yeah,
right. And and the other mod is the no teletransportation mod, because something that SimCity didn't do, and these guys do, is that they will teleport any car that gets stuck for too long. In SimCity, you had like this endless, thing that car jams that would never solve it themselves. This actually brings that experience back to City Skylines, because actually, I mean, if you turn it on any existing city, you'll see how badly your city is. Infrastructure is, and the best way is actually to start a new city with this 2, and see if you can actually make it work like this. And it's kind of nice because you actually spend more time trying to tweak everything on your city, making sure everything is right, all their access are okay, but you're gonna see like it's amazing how quickly they get cluttered, all the streets and everything when they can't
I've said this before. I start the game up and I start playing with the things, and all of a sudden it's 5 hours later and I'm still fixing that one intersection I started fixing at the beginning.
I've spent
I turn around and like, ooh, everyone's dead.
I've spent 3 freaking episodes on my Let's Play trying to fix my city center roundabout here. It's like, okay, now you're clogged. All right, now I fixed that. Now something else is clogged, and it's like,
we did that on the last stream. I started before the stream. I spent like an entire afternoon fixing things. And then on the stream, I was like, okay, I'll fix this on the stream. I fixed that. Like half a mile up the road, something clogs for no apparent reason.
Yep.
And then I fix that, and then I turn around, and all of a sudden, from that new intersection up to the exit out of my tiles, everything's clogged up. And I'm like, shit. It's endless fixing of traffic, which is in its own way fun, but that's why I don't use the no teleportation mod, because I would just go insane.
Yeah, you need to do it in a new save because your city is not prepared for it.
Well, see, the thing is, like, my end goal is to use that, but I want to get everything hashed out with all the other, the whole lane usage thing. Like, I don't want my city to become crippled and dead because a delivery truck is trying to go from the left-hand lane and make a right turn from that lane, and is blocking the entirety of my city's traffic because it doesn't do the lanes quite properly. Once we get the lane situated,
for no reason doing a U-E in the middle of the road and just going down the road like this, and then ending being like this, and there's traffic coming here for endless hours upon hours, and you're just like,
that's when you delete the roads.
Everything will be a one-way road, only leading to one place.
That's the one thing that pissed me off about the docks. Because you can't change the road in front of them.
Oh, right. That is true. Like, that's the only access there.
I'm like, I want to make a one-way road past this so that I have all the traffic going one way. Because then they go in, and then they come out the next door, right? So that there's always traffic flowing naturally. And I'm just like, but I want to do this. Why you don't let me do this?
Make a mod.
That is sad.
Make a mod that changes the road.
There's also a bug there. If you place a service building on that road to the dock, it doesn't show you how far it reaches. And docks needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Actually, I was listening to a few people talking. Actually, what was it? Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, and Dodger. Anybody heard of them?
Yeah,
I think I've heard of Total
Yeah, they were talking
Biscuit.
about.
You heard
Total
someone?
Biscuit.
So they were talking actually about City Skylines, and actually most of the issues they were having is not understanding why the city was collapsing all of a sudden for whatever reason. Like an example, why they didn't have power, or why they didn't. Why the cars were getting stuck? Like what caused it, and so on. Like apparently one of their tactics was to have separate power plants for different parts of the city, but so it would tell you like, oh, there's not enough power, and whenever you went check, you have plenty of power, but actually it was being measured by only a part of the city, not the entire thing. So it wouldn't provide accurate feedback for that, or the classic, the citizens get sick, then a lot of ambulances go out, they get stuck, and then they die. So a lot of horses get out and stuck together with the ambulances that are trying to pick up the people that already died.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so,
the death spiral.
The death spiral, indeed. But mostly that they could not understand like the feedback. They basically have problem with the feedback on why things weren't working sometimes.
I mean, we've said this before. The game lacks that feedback on everything. Like, what industrial zones do you need? Why are things burning down here? Why, is this not working? Why is that? There's no feedback, right?
Yeah, it's very
you mouse over an office and it says like, things needed to upgrade. This zone wants more services. Like what?
What do you call services in your dictionary?
Like, what do you want as a service? You have a hospital next to you, have a fire station, a police station, a park, and a crematorium. What else do you want from me?
I want a golden egg.
But it's not intuitive, right? It's an office area. Why would I build a school in the middle of an office area?
Because they're stupid.
But yeah, the game lacks a lot of that kind of giving you feedback on what is actually wrong. Because sometimes things just go, something blows up and you're like, why?
Yeah.
What was your problem? Like,
I
don't understand why things get abandoned when they're not.
Something that they said, I completely agree. That is actually something that I sort of said in my review of City Skylines is that, but I want to make it like a whole video just explaining the success of City Skylines, because for me it's really tricky why it had such success in such a broken state, if you may. The game is great, don't get me wrong, but it's clearly like not the level that you would find like a AAA game, right? That has been like super polished and everything. It's nothing like that. However, it got like awesome, great score and people love it. And one thing that they said, these three guys, was that people were so desperate for a proper city builder that good is enough. Right, you don't need it to be perfect. As long as you can build big cities and there is some simulation and there's the traffic and everything is in there. That's it. That's all we need. Because I mean, they actually hate SimCity. I actually like it, but
it's shit.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. I love SimCity. It just, yeah.
Should not have that name. The original is called SimCity. The thing they released in 2013 is not SimCity. I call it FimCity with the first S replaced with a 5. Oh, yeah? So that way it doesn't occupy the proper. It doesn't taint the name of the series.
My favorite name to call it is Shit City.
Oh God!
I've heard that many times.
I call it SimCity 2013, but it's too long.
It's just, but yeah, that's the thing. We wanted something that works, something that will propel the genre forward, and now it's out. Now it's time to polish it, do all those things. I mean, they are listening to the community already, so there's always, when you have a good foundation, there's always room for improvement. When you release a shit product, there's no chance of you ever fixing it unless you release a brand new product.
Yeah. This has potential. And see, the thing is, like, the majority of the problems with it are, like their UI things, their feedback things. But the game, what's going on under the hood, 85% of that is humming along just fine. The game is functional. Yeah. We as the players might not necessarily understand what's going on, and if something goes wrong, why it's going wrong. But it's functional. It's just maybe not as well tuned in terms of giving us the feedback. But would you rather have that, or would you rather have a game that gave you perfect feedback but was ostensibly broken? That just didn't work properly, or was completely unbalanced, or would destabilize once you hit 10,000 people and just unrecoverable. It's like, there's tons of crime. It's like, okay, why? It's like, well, there's a bug because the police stations all don't are at 10% effectiveness. Something like that would really hurt the whole simulation, whereas here I'd rather have works under the hood. We just need to figure out what's under the hood, rather than doesn't work under the hood but is real shiny.
Yeah, it's a solid foundation that works well but just needs that additional feedback, right? And
right.
That's something that's been discussed on the forums, discussed on the Reddit that they know about, and just
But something that scares me a little bit, okay, so I don't know if you know this, Pinstar, but I made some before the game came out, and I didn't even know all the features of the game. I made some quick draft or of how I envisioned the UI that it should be, how it should look like. I don't know if you got to saw it.
I've don't believe I've seen that one yet.
Here's the link in the in Twitch. So somebody recently put it on Reddit and still waiting for this UI mod. It's not a mod, really. It's a sketch. But and I got 400 upvotes. A lot of people talking on it. And
I remember seeing that.
You saw this draw right here.
Yeah.
So okay.
Now I remember it.
I mean, I mailed Marina, right, who is the CEO of Colossal Order. Although she keeps repeating she's in there for the money and she doesn't know much about games. So that kind of scares me. But
Finnish humor, just put it down to Finnish humor. Trust me, they're all like that.
Yeah? Is that humor or is that real?
No, that's Finnish weird humor, depression. You need to drink more.
Well, the thing is, I don't know. I was talking to her, but apparently, they have UI designers on Colossal Order and Paradox, both assisting on the game, and apparently, they are not really. They don't think the UI has any issue. Apparently, from what I get from her, everything is fine. They just need to fix bugs and then add content. I'm like, the UI for me looks completely unfinished. Even the water icon looks like made on paint. And it wasn't properly cut, sliced. So I don't know, kind of concerned about that. If they ever switch to Unity UI, I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know how expensive it would be to do that. It would be fairly more moddable because people can just use Unity to change or make the UI and then implement it back in the game. You can actually do it visually instead of just changing files. So, I mean, that would be great. But they didn't use Unity UI. The game is built on Unity 3D. But by the time they started it, Unity UI wasn't out there. So and it's a much easier way to build user interfaces, basically. And they had to make a custom one that doesn't always work.
Him to build your
I told her I don't even want to get paid. I just want to fix it. But
he does want to get paid, but to be nice, he said that. He doesn't want to get paid.
No, because then I have to suffer their UI. I'm sorry, but it's better than Cities XXL, but everything is better than Cities XXL.
This is the same Pablo that said that the space between something in the Sims 4 UI and the thing. Oh, the space between when you open up the items in your Sims inventory.
Yeah, it should remain always the same. It shouldn't change per sim.
No, not that. There was actual space in between the arrow and the box.
Oh yeah,
and you were like, they need to get rid of that.
Oh yeah, they
need to get rid of that space.
Yeah, of course. That's my job. That's what I do. I have to go down to pixel level.
You might create a monster if you hire Pablo, but you should still hire him and pay him. And then
you have to know that when you're hiring Pablo, you hire a raging dragon that can't be controlled.
Who made this button?
He will do shit.
It'd be
he will
20.
He will text you at weird hours going, the logo on your thumbnail is 2 pixels too low.
I totally told him that. It was 20 pixels, but yes.
Oh, shut up! Fine.
In SimNation, we care about design. So yeah, I guess that is pretty much for now because it's an hour now. So what kind of hour did
It's a
it?
bit longer.
Yeah, but at least that's it for the recorded version that comes every Tuesday on our YouTube and our website, SimNation.tv. So make sure you always check us out on our website and our YouTube. And of course, I like to quickly give a moment to Pinstar to explain what he does. Because, well, I mean, you probably know him, but for those who
And
don't.
where we can find him.
Yes.
You can find, for my City Skylines stuff, the best place to find it is on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/c/Pinstar. There you'll find a Let's Play for City Skylines strategies and tactics, as well as a whole bunch of other games, both City Builder and otherwise. For the Sims stuff, I am still doing challenges, and I am going to be doing a challenge for the Sims 4 Get to Work. You can check us out at simslegacychallenge.com. There you can find rules to our existing challenges and news regarding future challenges. And keep your eyes peeled there. Because I will be announcing some stuff regarding some Get to Work based challenges. Last but not least, you can follow me at Pinstar on Twitter for all the latest updates of videos and news and whatnot.
Awesome. And naturally, all links to that in the description below. So if you didn't catch it, go click it. So yeah, that has been all for this week on SimNation Podcast. My name is Pablo. That girl right there is Callum. This person down here is Jan. And that person on the corner is Pinstar, who came here as a special guest this week. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oh, this is the most satisfying thing ever. We are God in SimCity 4. Wow, that was loud. Oh, you're gonna eat that, huh? You're gonna eat it. I see. What? Nothing. Okay.
And now she is tossing that salad with her... Stop sticking your finger in your ear! Alright, she's tossing the salad with her earwax.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It doesn't really well. Okay.
Oh, they're coming for you, Pablo!
Shit,
Run!
Oh, yeah. These road trips, man, are killing me. Anyway, let me know whenever we are recording. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Extended Play. I'm your host, this is Stuart, and that is a fancy, fancy sign. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.